Welcome back to tonight's special, the Carolina Chronicles.
Tonight we'll be covering the presidential election.
As we wait for the results to come in, we'll give a brief rundown of each candidate and their beliefs.
We'll even tell you about the lame candidates.
Here's the election map right now. Obviously, we know who the electorals voted for in South Carolina, so I'll fill it in for the best candidate, John C. Breckinridge. On our map, we'll fill in each state showing who they voted for. I would ask who you all voted for, but we know in South Carolina we have the strong selection system that leaves who we choose for president up to an informed state legislature.
While we wait for the other states to conclude their slow democratic process, we'll talk about abolitionist Abe. He started his political party with the Whigs in the Illinois state government and was a vocal supporter of the Society for the Colonization of Free People of Color of America, an initiative to take slaves away from the United States, repatriating them in Africa. Along with this, they fight to end slavery. And as president, we can see where his priorities will lie. He has also previously attacked anti-abolitionism and racial bigotry. Lincoln also worked on a bill while in Congress to stamp out the people of the District of Columbia's God-given right to own slaves. He also supported the 1846 proposal to ban slavery in any U.S. territory won from Mexico. This man is clearly a threat to our Southern way of life. In addition to all this hate towards the Southern way of life, he has also attacked the Supreme Court's decision to ensure the rights of people in the Western territories. Despite his claims that he will not abolish slavery, his past shows it as clear as day. This man is out for the Southern way of life.
Well, he sounds like the devil incarnate.
All I want to do is trample our God-given rights.
Next, we have Douglas Stephen, the betrayer of the Democratic cause. All Stephen Douglas is doing is splitting our vote. Votes for him are basically votes for stinking Lincoln. Well, he might not oppose slavery. A vote for him is merely a vote to ban slavery.
No one should vote on someone who can't win.
Then we have John C. Breckinridge, the defender of the South. He has pushed for strong capital investment from the federal government and wants to ensure when the government serves its people, it serves us and the North equally without infringing on Southern rights. Breckinridge knows the threat the Republican Party is to the security of our Union, and voting for him is the only path forward for unity of our nation. Unlike vile loser Lincoln, Breckinridge supports our nation and the strong decisions of our Supreme Court defending the rights of white Americans around our nation to own slaves.
See, that's the type of man we need running this country. Someone like the white first.
Well, if we did get to vote, who would y'all have voted for?
Well, clearly Breckinridge. If we want to keep our Union united, we have to support him.
Yeah, and that stupid Lincoln would take away my darn slaves.
And really, if not for the continuation of slavery, for the continuation of our Union, we have to vote for Breckinridge. We just got word from Florida that they concluded their election, and their votes will be put up for Breckinridge.
This is a clear early lead for Breckinridge.
Yes, seems like Breckinridge will crush Lincoln. I would assume that Lincoln will come in third. The only one who's more retarded is that damn John Brown. All that damn man says that he hates slavery. How the hell can anyone vote for that bastard?
Well, I think we can all agree that Lincoln will end up losing this race. My only one concern is that Breckinridge's votes will be split with Douglas. Now, let's take a break for our ads, and we'll get right back to you with the continuation of our election results. Lincoln claims he supports the sanctity of our Union, but we know this is a lie. Lincoln claims he won't ban slavery, but we know he is a die-hard abolitionist who hates the Southern way of life. But there's one man who can stand in his way. Breckinridge stands for equal rights of our nation's citizens. He knows the Southern way of life and will guarantee that our Constitution will be upheld and our rights protected from large government lunatics. He will guarantee the equality of federal spending. A vote for Breckinridge is a vote for a better country and a vote for a better future. Coming back from that short break, we have election results from Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi. Their electors will be going up for Breckinridge.
Wow, I guess the American people really understand how terrible Lincoln is.
And even with the Democrat split, it still seems like Breckinridge is soaring ahead.
Despite his early lead, most of the states he's won so far were definitely Breckinridge strongholds.
Yeah, but who even have voted for Lincoln? Only darn Northerners.
We just got word from our partners in Texas that Louisiana, Texas, and Arkansas went for Breckinridge.
Looking at the map here, it seems clear that Breckinridge has a strong control over the South.
Let's hope the North supports him just as much.
Ain't no way them abolitionist Northerners will put our Union over their love for Negroes.
We just got word from our friends in Kentucky.
The electoral votes from Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia all went for Bell.
Well, I'll be darned. I thought those Virginians would want to keep their slaves. Fuck the Union. Just keep my slaves.
We'll go out with our reporter, Quandale Dingle.
He'll be on the ground and see what people think of them results.
Hello, I'm here with Joseph McCracken.
Hi, I'm Billy Joe, and I'm a plantation owner here in South Carolina. I'm really excited to see these election results. I believe Breckinridge is pulling ahead in the polls, and he's probably going to end up with the win.
That's pretty nice, man.
Yeah, I mean, I hear about this Lincoln guy. If he gets elected president, he's going to take away my slaves, and frankly, I can't let that happen. I'm going to have to fight if he tries to take them away.
Thank you so much for your opinion.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And back to our news station.
Back from Quandale, we have the results coming out of the north. In this bunch, we have Missouri going for Douglas.
Well, it's not another vote for Breckinridge, but at least it's not for abolitionist Abe. That loser Lincoln will destroy our Union faster than bring back the English.
Now from the proper north, we have Massachusetts, Vermont, Maine, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and Connecticut.
Well, all those goddarn slavery-hating people up there all voted for Lincoln.
Well, after this batch, it's not looking too good for Breckinridge.
Counting up the current totals, it looks like we have 66 for Breckinridge, 39 for John Bell, 9 for Douglas, and 33 for Lincoln. So far, it seems like Breckinridge has a fairly strong lead, but we still have the big hitters like New York.
But his 66 is still far from the 150 that he needs to win. So we'll see as the night goes on how he'll do.
Well, the people in this country had any sense that Northern sympathizer wouldn't even be on the darn ballot.
We'll have a short break, and we'll get back to you on the rest of our votes.
I hate Lincoln!
Qualdo reporting for
I
TV.
hate Lincoln!
Here behind us in South Carolina,
I hate
we have
Lincoln!
angry protesters
I
rioting
hate Lincoln!
against Lincoln pulling ahead in the
I
election
hate Lincoln!
results. Breckinridge
I
is
hate
starting to fall
Lincoln!
behind, and South
I
Carolinians
hate
are
Lincoln!
firmly supporting him to
I
unite
hate
the country.
Lincoln! I
Side
hate
says
Lincoln!
rights over federal might.
I hate
South
Lincoln!
Carolinians think Lincoln's a
I hate
tyrant that's going to
Lincoln!
violate their rights.
I
Thank
hate
you so much.
Lincoln!
Back to the studio.
No crap, people are angry. I am too. He's gonna take away my darn slaves.
Well, we did know those Northerners always wanted to take them.
We just got word from New York, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, and Michigan.
And they all went for Lincoln, bringing his total to 157. At this point, the election is called for Lincoln, making him the 16th president of the United States.
That will be it for tonight's broadcast. I'm sorry to say that it seems like Lincoln has won this election.
Welcome back to Carolina Chronicles. Today we'll be talking about the Southern Secession. We just got word from the South Carolina government that delegates have unanimously declared independence from the Union after Lincoln's recent victory. They claim that the Northern sympathizing government and president cannot correctly govern the South due to their anti-slavery bias. Additionally, the delegates affirmed their state sovereignty and ability to secede from the Union. As proud South Carolinians, we understand that slavery is necessary for our economy, along with the economy of many northern states. While northern states accept their products freely and profit from slavery, they also call to ban the practice, along with their soon-to-be president, Lincoln. Becoming our own sovereign state is the ultimatum South Carolina delegates have had to come to due to the past months and even years of northern opposition to slavery. Lincoln's agenda as president is one obviously opposed to our southern way of life, despite what he claims to stand for, the preservation of the Union. Carolina Chronicles will keep you updated on the current situation concerning Southern secession and the concerning state of the Union. This just in, Union soldiers commanded by Major Robert Anderson, stationed in Fort Sumter, are under siege by our Confederate forces.
This is due to the refusal to leave the fort now claimed by the South.
These Union soldiers were recently resupplied and sent to maintain Fort Sumter as a vantage point against the newly formed Confederate states.
Despite President Davis Johnson's call to peacefully leave the fort,
Major Beauregard has been forced to deliver an ultimatum to the Union Army, either surrender and leave or be forced out.
Now to a news reporter on the ground.
Quandale reporting for duty. We are here with the local South Carolinian, checking on the general public's view on the current situation. I am here with
John O. Frank.
What are your thoughts on the new secession by multiple southern states from the Union?
I love it. These Northerners, they're trying to take away our slaves. Now we don't gotta listen to them. It's fantastic.
What do you think about American President Abraham Lincoln attempting to preserve the Union?
Oh, it ain't gonna work. We can secede as much as we want to. It's pretty stupid, in my opinion.
Now I would like to draw attention to the battle now happening at Fort Sumter.
The way I see it, the North has absolutely no right in taking our land. This is Southern land. They can't just come in here and say, oh, it's ours. No, it's ridiculous.
I've just been informed that there's an update on the siege at Fort Sumter. Back to News Station 4 for the situation.
Thank you, Quandale, for on-the-ground reporting. It seems that a resolution has been found on the attack on Fort Sumter.
Confederate soldiers have formally and respectfully accepted Union's surrender after hours of siege on the fort.
Our station calls this a full Confederate victory, one which establishes our strength and our ability to handle ourselves in this war.
Lincoln and the rest of the Union have made their position on the preservation of the Union clear, to keep military status on Confederate land.
An attempt to control our new country.
This is clearly to suppress us further and try to force southern states into rejoining the Union they clearly opposed and lawfully left.
Well, that's all for tonight, guys. We'll see you back tomorrow.
News from the White House. Dictator Abraham Lincoln has formally declared that all slaves in the Confederate States have been freed through the Emancipation Proclamation of 1863. This order is a blasphemy, and everybody knows it. Blacks are inferior to whites. Abolitionist Abe deserves the noose. In the midst of one of the bloodiest wars in American history, the President of the Union has chosen to illegitimately violate the South's sovereign right to enslave blacks. This document approved the enlistment of blacks in U.S. armed forces, leading them to leave the Confederacy and unite with the Union Army in order to fight for their freedom. This action has deprived our nation of our labor and strengthened the ranks of the Northern Army. This war isn't even about the freedom of slaves. It's about state rights. Abolitionist Abe is a conniving president who is manipulating the Emancipation Proclamation to dismantle the Confederacy and attempt of secession.
My name is John Garrison, and I don't approve this message. This war is about slavery, alongside preserving the Union, you asshole.
Shut up! It's about state rights! Get your ass out of here!
Breaking news! We have just received confirmation that our Confederate forces have lost against the Union in the Battle of Gettysburg.
The fighting erupted for 3 brutal days, from July 1st to July 3rd of 1863. Reports are saying it's the bloodiest battle in the Civil War so far.
What a shocking reversal! Only 2 months ago, in May, the Confederate General Robert E. Lee won a brilliant victory in Charlottesville.
His strategy appeared flawless. Lee moved separate columns rapidly through Maryland and into Pennsylvania to threaten Washington and finally gain support from foreign powers. He established a strong position to force new commander George Meade to attack him.
The 75,000 Confederate soldiers were outnumbered and undersupplied against the 90,000 Union troops.
The turning point of the battle occurred on the final day when Major General George Pickett was ordered by Lee to launch an assault on the center of the Union's army, hoping to break through them.
The Union army was prepared though. Meanwhile, the Confederates had to march across field with no cover. This allowed the Union to obliterate them. Very few courageous Confederate soldiers breached the Union lines, however they were quickly overwhelmed.
So the reports are basically saying that the Battle of Gettysburg concluded because of Pickett's risky assault.
Everyone in the South tonight must feel devastated. We were so close to taking the Union's capital.
The heartbreaking part is the irreplaceable Confederate soldiers we lost in battle. I guess winning this war will be longer than anticipated.
That's it for tonight, and we hope for better news tomorrow.
back to the Confederate Chronicles. Today we bring you some poor news about these Northerners scum.
Lincoln has given command of the Union military to Ulysses S. Grant. That butcher will not stop until he's slaughtered everyone. And that's not even the worst of it. Johnson has no clue what he's doing and constantly retreats like a coward. Johnson's timidity forced Confederate President Jefferson Davis to replace him with much more aggressive John Bell Hood. But it was too late. Sherman had already cut off Atlanta's supply lines, forcing Hood to evacuate the city. This is absurd.
I agree. This is insanity. Have mercy on us.
News just in. Sherman has been marching towards Savannah while destroying railroads, factories, engines, and warehouses.
Atlanta, our most important rail and industrial centers are located there. A terrible blow to the Confederacy.
Witnesses describe the railroad tracks being torn up, twisted beyond compare. Farmers and storehouses have been stripped of all their supplies.
These Negro lovers are destroying the entire South. We must do something or else they're going to come for South Carolina next. We bring you a heartbreaking update on April 9th, 1865. The conclusion has come for the Army of North Virginia as General Robert E. Lee has surrendered to the Union at the Appomattox Courthouse.
After weeks of brutal fighting and a devastating retreat across Virginia, our fellow Confederate troops were not able to outrun Lieutenant General Ulysses S. Grant.
The Union Army completely surrounded Lee and his troops as he was blocked from retreat. They were low on supplies, rations, and heavily outnumbered. To spare his men and avoid future casualties, Lee requested a meeting with Grant to discuss terms of a Confederate surrender.
The two commanders met this afternoon at the McLean House. Grant was astonishingly lenient in his surrender terms, agreeing to Lee's request to send over Union rations to his starving troops.
Also, they allowed them to return home, maintain possession of their horses, and work their farms.
Our reporters on the scene witnessed a strange occurrence. As the defeated General Lee walked out of the McLean House, the Union troops remained completely silent, a show of respect for their fellow Americans.
The South was completely devastated and starved as General Lee made the human choice to surrender to the Union. Hope our people understand the situation behind this decision.
Welcome back. Tonight we are here to bring you some wonderful news.
What might this wonderful news be?
Tonight we cover and celebrate the death of that tyrant Lincoln. Fellow Southerners, our amazing hero John Wilkes Booth has done us a great service by brutally eliminating the abolitionist scum. While attending a theater performance, many people had assumed that Booth was merely a part of the cast. Little did they know was that Booth was really there to assassinate the dictator in hopes of liberating the South. Booth, like many others, considered slavery to be a blessing. The question many people might be asking is what happens now?
I think this calls for a new national holiday. Maybe something like the Union's new Black Friday.
But what really happens now that Lincoln is dead?
There's only one way to bring the Union back together. The fact of the matter is the South cannot survive without slavery.
Why don't we take a look at the pros and alleged cons of slavery? I suggest that we start with the pros. Slavery is what allows plantation owners to create and sell goods at faster paces for cheaper prices because they don't have to pay for labor. Not only will this drive up prices of goods, but do you really expect us plantation owners to do all of that grueling work by ourselves? The whole southern economy relies on slave labor. The cheap labor is what allows us to increase production of goods that the North needs to supply for its factories. I'm not sure if you guys can remember, but the cotton exports are actually what played a large role in helping the U.S. economy grow before the war.
Yeah, we need to get those Negroes back to work.
What about the cons?
I think that the only solution is that we secede again, so that Booth's sacrifice is not in vain.
I totally agree with you. Booth was a real Southern man, and I think that he sets a wonderful example of a real American.
I think we've outgrown this country. I mean, these Negro-loving hippies need us for their economy to survive. Without those people are nothing. Nothing, I say, nothing. I hate these Negro lovers. We need our slaves back. Those filthy animals are nothing more than secondary humans. And now those scums get to walk around as if they're one of us. This is honestly absurd. How do you expect us to sit around and do nothing? This is why Booth is truly the hero of the South. I say we start a new campaign to bring back slavery. slavery. Bring back my slaves.
Whoa, I think you should slow down there. You and I both know that this will only lead to conflict.
Listen to this Negro lover.